The control room of the Galactic Empire was silent. Hundreds of screens glowed in the dark. Officers sat at their stations, watching the stars. They looked calm, but deep inside, they were always ready for war. The Empire ruled thousands of worlds. No one dared to challenge them. Not anymore. Then, a red light blinked. One officer frowned. "Unusual signal detected," he said. "Location?" asked Commander Terrell, a tall, thin alien with silver skin and sharp eyes. The officer checked again. "Sector 87G, deep inside our territory." Terrell's face turned cold. That area was empty. No trade routes, no life, no Empire bases. Just dead space. "Type of signal?" he asked. The officer hesitated. It matches an old human warship signature." Everyone froze. That was impossible. Humans were defeated in the last war, 20 years ago. Their ships were either destroyed or banned from this space. No human signal had been detected since then. "Run it again," Trell ordered. The officer ran the scan twice, 3 times. Same result. "It's a human signal, sir. Very old, but active." Trell stood silent. Then he pressed a button on his chair. "Alert the High Command. Send a scout ship. I want eyes on that sector now." An hour later, the Empire scout ship Falcon's Eye jumped into Sector 87G. The stars looked normal. Cold. Empty. "Scanners up," said the pilot. "Still getting the signal," the navigator replied. "Very close now." Then, suddenly, the stars dimmed. A shadow passed in front of them. A massive shape, dark and silent, floated through space. The crew gasped. That's not possible," the captain whispered. The ship in front of them was massive, over 2 kilometers long. Its body was made of black metal, scarred by battle, with strange marks glowing in red. No Empire design matched it. And yet, it looked familiar. The computer identified it. Human warship, Black Dawn, status, destroyed. The Empire had listed this ship as destroyed 2 decades ago, lost in battle during the First Human War. The captain hesitated. "Should we contact it?" "No," said the science officer. It's not responding, not even moving." They moved closer. Then all systems went dark. Lights, weapons, engines. Everything stopped. "EMP attack?" someone shouted. "No, it's not coming from outside. It's like something is inside our systems." Before they could react, the Black Dawn turned. Very slowly, like a sleeping beast waking up. Its engines glowed faint red. Its weapons lit up. "Retreat!" the captain shouted. "Get us out!" But it was too late. The Falcon's Eye vanished in a burst of light. Back in the Empire control room, Commander Terrell watched the last transmission. He saw the shadow, the size, the name. He felt cold fear in his chest. He had seen that ship in history files. The Black Dawn was the most dangerous human ship ever built. It had disappeared in the last war. No wreckage. No survivors. "Are we sure?" he asked. The tech officer nodded. "Yes, sir. Signal confirmed. It's the Black Dawn." Trell turned to the comms officer. "Send a message to High Command. Use full alert code." "Message content?" the officer asked. Trell looked at the screen, at the frozen image of the warship in space. He spoke slowly, his voice cold. "A human warship has returned. Inside our space. It destroyed our scout ship. We are not alone. The Black Dawn is back." Across the galaxy, the Emperor of the Galactic Empire sat on his throne. He watched the message on his private screen. His face was calm, but his eyes narrowed. He had once fought the humans himself. He remembered their strength, their anger, and their hate. He remembered the ships they built, monsters of war, ships like the Black Dawn. "They were supposed to be extinct," he whispered. He stood and looked out the window of his palace, high above the capital planet. Far away in the deep stars, Something had returned. Something old. Something human. Ready. The fleets, he said, and bring me every file on that ship. Meanwhile, in the cold silence of Sector 87G, the Black Dawn floated still. Its systems came online, one by one. Inside the ship, red lights glowed along the dark corridors. Footsteps echoed. A voice whispered through the halls. Target confirmed. Begin Phase 1. A face appeared on the bridge screen. Human. Pale. Eyes like fire. He smiled. They thought we were dead. Empire Fleet Command sent 3 warships to Sector 87G. They moved slowly, cautious, afraid. The last ship they sent, Falcons, I was gone. No survivors, only static on the last recording. But the image was clear. A human warship, long thought destroyed, floating in enemy space. Now, the Empire wanted answers. The lead ship, Steel Fang, locked its scanners onto the human ship. Target confirmed, the officer said. Still no movement, no weapons active, just floating. Admiral Kor, a heavy-set alien with metal implants across his head, stared at the screen. There it is, he said quietly. The Black Dawn, a ghost from the past. The ship looked dead. No lights, no signals, no heat, but that's what made it worse. Is it abandoned? His second officer asked. Admiral Kor didn't answer. He had seen tricks in war. This could be a trap. Send the boarding team, he ordered. I want eyes inside. A small shuttle launched from the Steel Fang and flew toward the Black Dawn. Inside the shuttle, 10 elite Empire soldiers sat in silence, fully armored, weapons, ready. These were the best. Remember, the team leader said, this ship disappeared 20 years ago. No life signs, no signals, but something is wrong. Stay sharp. They entered the docking port, no resistance. The door opened with a hiss. Darkness. The soldiers stepped inside the ghost ship. The corridors were cold and quiet. Everything was covered in dust. The walls were scratched, burn marks everywhere. It looked like there had been a fight, long ago. This place is a tomb, one soldier said. The deeper they went, the stranger it got. The lights flickered red. Doors opened by themselves. Whispers echoed through the halls. Did you hear that? A soldier asked. No, another replied, gripping his weapon tighter. Just your mind playing games. Then they found the bridge, the command center of the Black Dawn. Everything was still. No crew, no bodies. Just empty chairs and dead screens. On the captain's chair, a small device blinked, a data log. Back on the Steel Fang, Admiral Kor waited. The voice of the team leader came through the radio. Sir, we've reached the bridge, found a human data log. Bring it back, Kor said. We'll decode it here. 10 minutes later, the data was loaded onto the Steel Fang's computer. The log was old, but the language was clear. Earth Standard. The Admiral ordered a translation. It began to play on the screen. A human voice spoke. Calm, cold. This is Captain. Elias Ward of the Black Dawn, if you're hearing this, it means we've returned. Admiral Kor frowned. The voice continued. You think we died in the war. You think your weapons destroyed us. You're wrong. Images flashed across the screen. Images of humans in chains, tortured, experimented on in alien labs. The crew of the Black Dawn had been captured. But they escaped. They didn't return home. They stayed hidden. They changed. We were your prisoners, Captain Ward said in the log. You turned us into monsters. Now we return. Not for rescue, but for justice. The last words froze everyone in the room. We're not lost. We're hunting. Suddenly, alarm screamed. Enemy lock-on, the weapons officer shouted. The Black Dawn, its systems just activated. On the main screen, the ghost ship lit up. Weapon systems came online. Engines powered up. The red lights glowed like eyes. Shields up, Admiral Kor shouted. But it was too late. A single red beam fired from the Black Dawn. It sliced through space. Silent, fast, deadly. The escort ships exploded. No warning. the officer gasped. No energy buildup. That cannon, it's something new. The Steel Fang turned to run. The Black Dawn didn't follow. It just waited, like a hunter, watching its prey run. Back in Empire Central Command, Commander Terrell watched the new footage. 2 ships lost, 1 damaged. The Black Dawn had barely moved. They're not just back, he said. They've evolved. The Empire High Council gathered, fear in their voices, confusion in their eyes. Why now? One asked. Why return after 20 years? Commander Terrell answered softly. Because they were never gone, they were waiting, and now they're sending a message. In a secret room far away, deep under Earth's surface, a group of humans watched the events live on their screens. An old man, dressed in a dark coat, smiled. The signal was received, he said. They took the bait. Another officer spoke. Phase 1 is complete. Do we begin Phase 2? The man nodded. Let the galaxy remember. We never forget. And we never forgive. Deep below the surface of Earth, hidden in a mountain bunker, a secret command center buzzed with quiet activity. Men and women in uniform stood around glowing screens. The largest screen showed a live feed from deep space, Sector 87G, where the Black Dawn had returned. General Sarah Keene stood in the center of the room, arms crossed. She had short gray hair and eyes that saw everything. She had once served with the crew of the Black Dawn. 20 years ago, they vanished in a battle. No one could explain. Everyone had thought the ship was lost. But Sarah never gave up hope. Now, she watched as the Empire panicked. The enemy warships burned. The Black Dawn had returned, and it was just the beginning. They're doing it, she said softly. They're actually doing it. Behind her, a younger officer looked worried. But after all these years, how did they survive? Sarah turned to the screen again. They didn't just survive, she said. They changed. 20 years earlier, the Black Dawn had led a desperate mission behind enemy lines during the First Human Empire War. Captain Elias Ward was one of Earth's finest. Calm, brilliant, and dangerous. But the mission went wrong. The Empire had set a trap. They disabled the Black Dawn and took the crew prisoner. They were sent to secret research stations across the galaxy, tortured, tested, broken. The Empire wanted to learn what made humans so hard to kill. Some of the crew died. Some escaped. And a few, like Captain Ward, were never seen again, until now. On the bridge of the Black Dawn, Captain Ward stood in silence. He looked older now. His face was pale, eyes sharp, voice cold. But inside, the fire still burned. His crew had changed. Too, not just humans anymore. They were faster, smarter, part machine, part soldier. The result of surviving the Empire's cruel experiments. They had taken the pain and turned it into strength. Status report, Ward said. Weapons ready. Cloak engaged. Enemy signals rising across 6 sectors, replied his second-in-command. Lieutenant Vega, her voice calm. Ward nodded. They're afraid, he said. Good. Let them be. He looked at the screen. Images of burning Empire ships. They thought we were dead. Now they'll wish we were. Back in the Empire capital, chaos spread. Meetings ran day and night. Advisors shouted. Generals argued. The Black Dawn must be destroyed, one shouted. How? Another replied. Our best ships couldn't even touch it. Emperor Valkarn, ruler of the Empire, sat in silence on his throne. His face was calm, but his claws tapped the armrest. I remember that ship, he said, and I remember the man who commanded it. The room grew quiet. I want every spy, every ship, every weapon focused on one task. Find out how they returned. And stop them. A general spoke carefully. What if we can't stop them? The Emperor's eyes glowed. Then we die trying. In a hidden human base on Mars, soldiers trained harder than ever. Drones flew, weapons fired, battle simulations ran all day. Earth was preparing. After the First War, the public thought peace had been won. But the truth was hidden. Earth had never trusted the Empire's promises, so, in secret, they built new weapons, new ships, and new alliances. General Sarah Keene stood before a group of young officers. "The Black Dawn is only the beginning," she told them. "They've opened the door. Now we walk through it." One young officer raised a hand. "What's the mission, ma'am?" She looked him in the eye. "Revenge." Back on the Black Dawn, the ship powered up again. Captain Ward stood in front of a large hologram, an image of the Empire's map. He pointed at a red dot. "This was the station where they took our people, where they broke them. It's still active." He turned to his crew. "Tonight we shut it down." No one spoke. They didn't need to. They were ready. The engines roared. The ship vanished into hyperspace. At the Empire Research Station, everything was quiet. Scientists worked in white rooms. Guards patrolled the halls. Then the alarms blared. Unidentified ship incoming. Too late. The Black Dawn dropped out of hyperspace and fired without warning. Missiles screamed through the air. Drones swarmed the station. Explosions rocked the buildings. One Empire scientist, shaking in fear, saw the red symbol of the human ship on a screen. He whispered, "But they were supposed to be gone." A voice answered over the loudspeakers, "We remember everything." As the fires burned and the sky turned red, one message echoed across the stars, sent from the Black Dawn. "To every Empire world, we were your prisoners. You turned us into weapons. Now we return, not for peace, but for justice." Empire High Command was in full panic. Dozens of warships were destroyed. Research stations were gone. The humans were not only alive, they were fighting back. Worse, no one could find where the Black Dawn would strike next. "They move like ghosts," said one Empire officer. "They strike fast, then disappear," said another. "They're not an army," Commander Terrell said. "They're a message." In the capital city, the Emperor growled with rage. "Set a trap," he ordered. "Give them a target, one they can't ignore." On a secret moon near the edge of Empire space, a fake research station was built. It looked real. It had the same signal, the same layout, the same pain, but this time it was filled with soldiers. 50 warships hid behind the moon. Thousands of drones floated in the dark. Empire elite waited in silence, all weapons aimed at one thing, the sky. They were waiting for the Black Dawn. Inside the Black Dawn, Captain Elias Ward stood in the war room. He looked at the red dot on the map, another research station, another place where his people had suffered. Lieutenant Vega read the data. Same energy readings, same signal patterns. It looks just like the others. Ward stared for a moment. Then he smiled, but his eyes stayed cold. "They're inviting us." "You think it's a trap?" "Yes," he said calmly. "But we're going anyway." His crew looked at him surprised. "We walk into it?" Vega asked. "No," Ward replied. "We don't walk into it. We close it." The Black Dawn entered. Silent mode. No signal, no sound. It moved through space like a shadow. At the edge of the fake station, it stopped. Inside the Empire Command Center on the moon, officers leaned forward. "They're here," one whispered. "It's really them." "All units hold fire," the commander said. "Wait for the perfect shot." But the Black Dawn didn't attack the station. Instead, it vanished. "What?" the Empire commander shouted. "Where did it go?" "Stealth system active," a tech officer said. "We've lost it." Then, alarms screamed. "Explosions in hangar bay. Multiple drone systems down. Sabotage detected." The trap had been turned against them. The Black Dawn didn't attack from the front. It had landed behind the moon, in the shadows, and sent small stealth pods to sneak into the base. Now, Empire systems were crashing. Their own drones were being hacked. Ships were losing control. In the middle of the chaos, Captain Ward's voice echoed through the Empire station. "You thought you could trap us. You thought you could outsmart us. But we know how you think, because you trained us." The Empire. Commander shouted. Fire everything! Destroy the station! Destroy the moon if we have to! Too late. A pulse of energy blasted through the control systems. The Black Dawn's virus spread like wildfire. Empire ships began turning on each other. Explosions lit up the sky. Back on the Black Dawn, Lieutenant Vega gave the report. 32. Warships down. The rest are retreating. Trap neutralized. Captain Ward nodded. Good. Message sent. He turned toward the screen and pressed a button. A short transmission played on every open Empire channel. You tried to trap us. You failed. We are not your prey. We are your reckoning. Far away, on Earth, General Sarah Keene smiled as she watched the transmission. She turned to her officers. Now they know. The Empire bleeds. A young officer asked, Do we strike? Again? Sarah's face grew serious. Not yet. Let the fear spread. Let them turn on each other. Let them waste energy chasing ghosts. Back in the Empire capital, chaos had grown worse. Some systems lost power. People feared to travel. Planets stopped sending troops. Fear spread like a virus. Emperor Valkarn slammed his fist on the table. They humiliate us in front of the whole galaxy. An old advisor spoke carefully. Perhaps we pushed them too far, Your Majesty. Valkarn turned his glowing eyes to the advisor. They were broken animals, slaves, and now they threaten us? They are not slaves anymore, the advisor whispered. On the bridge of the Black Dawn, Ward stood silently. He watched the stars. Then he looked down at a small screen. A list of Empire targets appeared. Research labs, war factories, political centers. His voice was calm. Start Phase 3. The Empire was falling apart. The Black Dawn had struck again and again. No pattern, no warning. Just fire and silence. Factories exploded, labs vanished, communications broke down, entire fleets disappeared. In less than a month, 40% of Empire supply lines were gone. Empire worlds began to panic. Some planets shut their ports. Others refused to send soldiers. Fear grew like a storm. In the heart of it all, the Black Dawn stayed invisible. Inside the ship, Captain Ward stood before his crew. We were prisoners, he said. Now we are the weapon. The crew nodded. Silent, focused. Next target. The Empire Core AI hub. Destroy it, and they won't be able to control their own fleets. The mission began. The Black Dawn dropped drones across Empire space, sending fake signals, false fleet movements, and false attacks. The Empire chased shadows. By the time they realized the truth, it was too late. The AI hub exploded. Hundreds of warships went blind. Robots shut down. Entire systems went dark. The Empire was collapsing from the inside. Ward watched it all and didn't smile. This is justice, he said. Not revenge. They'll understand the difference when it's over. With the Empire weak, other species started to rise. On the planet Zarnak, once ruled by the Empire, slaves broke their chains. Workers turned on their masters. They used old tools, stolen weapons, and hope, a secret message from the Black Dawn. Reach them. You are not alone. Rise now, or forever kneel. That message spread across the stars. On 6 more planets, revolts exploded. Empire soldiers tried to fight back, but they were tired, broken, outnumbered. Captain Ward watched. The revolts unfold. Let them rise, he told his crew. We struck the heart. Now the fire spreads. In Empire Central Command, the Emperor screamed. They're turning our own people against us. Commander Terrell said nothing. He knew the truth. The Empire had ruled with fear. Now fear ruled them. In a secret chamber, the Emperor called for his final weapon, Project Omega, but even that was too late. The Black Dawn received a strange signal deep inside the Empire's throne world, a massive energy buildup. A trap? Vega asked. No, Ward replied. A last stand. The Emperor had activated Project Omega, a massive warship the size of a moon, armed with planet-killer weapons, protected by an AI mind connected to every battle system in the Empire. If we lose this fight, Vega warned, Earth could be destroyed. Ward gave one nod. Then we don't lose. The Black Dawn called its allies, human stealth ships. Rebel fleets. Former slaves now free. Thousands answered. The battle for the Empire's throne began. Omega fired first. Planets shook, moons cracked, ships vaporized. But the Black Dawn danced through the chaos. Ward took his ship directly into Omega's core, a suicide run. But they had one secret left, the virus built from the Empire's own tech. Vega uploaded it mid-flight. The Omega ship froze, 1 second of silence. Then, implosion. The Emperor screamed inside his burning tower. The throne exploded. The Empire ended. The war was over. Empire banners burned on 100 worlds. People sang, cried, danced. For the first time in history, Earth was not the hunted, but the protector. In the skies above, a new fleet appeared, built by humans and aliens together. Not for war, but for peace. On the bridge of the new flagship Unity, General Sarah Keene stood with Captain Ward. "You did it," she said. Ward looked out the window at the stars. "No," he replied. "We all did. We broke their chains. Now we build something better." Vega stepped forward with the final report. Empire systems offline. Rebel planets free. Black Dawn is retired. Ward placed a new flag on the screen. A white star. A broken chain. A symbol of unity. He spoke into the mic. "To all worlds once enslaved, stand tall. The darkness is over. We are not just survivors. We are the storm. We are the dawn." The end. 10 years later, the galaxy had changed. The stars that once feared the Empire now remembered its fall, not as a story of war, but as the beginning of something greater. The Black Dawn, once a ghost ship of vengeance, was now a museum. Its hull still scarred, but its memory untouchable. Earth had risen from the ashes of slavery and silence to become the voice of the free. And now, the galaxy was listening. On a wide stage orbiting Earth, thousands gathered from every species. Humans, aliens, hybrids, former rebels, scientists, even old enemies, now leaders of their own people. They had all come to witness the moment. A great monument stood behind the stage. It was made of black stone and white steel. The words on it read, "We were their slaves. We became their executioners. And then we chose to become more." General Sarah Keene stood at the center, gray-haired, calm-eyed, a warrior who had seen the start, the fire, and the rebuilding. She took a deep breath. Then she spoke. "We were once hunted," she said. "We were beaten, taken, tortured, not just for what we had, but for who we were." She paused, but we did not die. The crowd listened, silent and still. We sent one ship into the dark, a crew thought lost, a hope nearly forgotten. But they returned, not as victims, but as the blade that would cut the chains. She looked toward the stars, and they were not just soldiers, they were a message. In a quiet forest on Earth, Captain Elias Ward walked alone. He had left the spotlight. He had given everything, his youth, his peace, his soul. Now, he lived simply. But today, something was different. A drone hovered above him, a live broadcast. He had agreed to say just one thing to close the day. He stood near a tree where he had carved a name, his sister's. She had died in an Empire lab long ago. Ward looked into the sky, then at the camera. His voice was low but strong. To the ones still watching. "We are not your servants. We are not your experiment. We are not your property." He paused. "We are the storm that answers silence. We are the reckoning you forgot. We are human." And then, he smiled for the first time. "And if you ever come again, you'll learn that this time, we're not just one ship. We're 10,000. And we're not coming to survive. We're coming to end you. The galaxy heard the message. It played across moons and spaceports, on rebel planets and free cities. Some cried, some stood and cheered, some watched in fear. But one thing was clear. Humanity was awake, and it would never sleep again. Legacy and beyond the galactic unity fleet, once a dream, was now real. Humans no longer fought alone. Species once divided were now allies. Earth helped rebuild worlds once crushed by Empire boots. Children learned about the Black Dawn in schools. A new oath was taught to every young pilot. We fight for the fallen. We rise with the brave. We remember who we are. And we never kneel again. Back in orbit, the ceremony came to a close. A final object was revealed under a silver cloth, a time capsule, to be opened in 100 years. Inside, a piece of the Black Dawn's hull. A letter from Ward, a data chip with the names of every human taken by the Empire, and one small flag, burned at the edges, but still standing. The flag from the original Black Dawn. The flag of Earth. It was sealed into the capsule with the words, "To those who come after, remember us not as the ones who fought, but as the ones who chose to rise." Final lines, voiceover style ending. In the darkness, we were hunted. In the fire, we were reborn. And in the silence of space, we left one message behind. We are still here. The end.